Grab a cup of coffee and start your Sunday with Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life features stories to inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Every Sunday morning at 9 on the Talk of New York, AM 970, The Apple. Visit CYACYL.com.
Hi, this is Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoy watching court drama unfold on television, then today's guest is a familiar face, Judge Alex Ferrer. Judge Alex is a former police officer, trial attorney, and criminal court judge. He was voted the most trustworthy face in daytime television. In addition, Judge Alex was recently in a People's Magazine Sexiest Man Alive issue. Good morning, Judge Alex. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. I didn't think that was all going to be laid out there like that.
I know. Recently I did an interview with Mo Willems, and the first thing he said was, I was waiting for that really cool person to show up. And he's like, but that's me. But anyway, good morning. And I want to start off talking a little bit about the path of your life. We're all about change here on this show. And I think that your life is a great example of this so-called American dream. You were the son of Cuban immigrants, and you went from a police officer to a detective to an attorney to a judge to a television personality to being named one of the sexiest men alive by a national publication. As a Cuban immigrant to America, do you think that your parents or your family could have ever envisioned this path for you?
Is this a great country or what? No. I think everything starts with your parents and your upbringing, because I credit my parents for giving me the drive, seeing them work so hard. America's a country of immigrants, and my parents were lucky enough to benefit from America opening its arms to them, like it has so many times to Italian immigrants and Irish and Polish and German and from everywhere in the world. And so when they came over here, my parents had to start all over again. They gave up some really good jobs in Cuba with a corporation there, executives at a corporation to start unloading railroad cars and selling shoes. But it was an opportunity to start in a country that was free, and I watched that, and I watched them work hard and succeed and grow and basically raise us up again. And so I think it developed a strong work ethic in me. And I think in America, if you have the drive and the desire to work hard, you can accomplish anything. It really is the land of opportunity, and I agree with you. It's kind of an American dream story to go from there to where I am today.
I read that you've always had a passion for law enforcement and that you joined the Coral Gables, Florida Police Department at the age of 19. How were you able to accomplish that?
Well, it was, that was a matter of perseverance, because I'll have to tell you, the chief in the police department was not the least bit interested in sending a 19-year-old. I was 18 at the time I was pushing him to send me. I was 18 years old, and I still had braces on my teeth. Okay,
wow.
So I probably looked like 14, and he really had no interest in sending me. And I kept pushing and pushing, and eventually he sent me to the academy. And I, under the category of be careful what you wish for, when I got to the academy, they did everything they could to knock me out, because they thought the same thing he thought. Who's this kid, and how's he going to be arresting some of the worst criminals that we have on the street? And so they were in my face, and they were jumping down my throat, and they were doing everything they could to get me to quit. And I wasn't interested in quitting. I hadn't tormented the chief for months to just go quit. And as a result, when I graduated from the police academy, they were actually so impressed. They gave me the highest honor that the police academy gives, which is the most outstanding recruit award, even though I was the youngest by far in the academy. But what got me to where I am today really is my parents gave me the best advice that any parents can ever give their children, and that is they weren't thrilled that their 19-year-old son was a cop. I mean, they loved police work and they loved police officers and they admired them, but they felt like it was a very risky career. And my father said, keep studying. Just go as far as you can with your education. It's not going to hurt you. If you decide to stay as a police officer, it'll help you climb through the ranks. But if you change your mind, decide you want to try something different, you'll have options. And that made sense to me, and more to appease them than anything, because I was sure I wanted to be a cop the rest of my life. I kept studying, and by the time I finished my undergraduate, I just kind of said, well, law is related to law enforcement, and I like law enforcement, so I went to law school. And when I finished, I still love police work. I still miss it today, but I had options. I had an opportunity to do other things, and I was ready for a change. And since I hadn't stopped studying, I was able to become a lawyer and eventually a judge and eventually one of just a handful of nationally syndicated television judges.
Now, let me ask you, when you first became an attorney, were you a prosecutor or were you a defense attorney? Which side of the law was your preference?
I was neither, actually, because I didn't go into criminal law. I found it too difficult to switch from being a police officer to doing, criminal defense work. And I'd been lucky enough that even though I was working full-time and going to law school full-time, because I would go to law school from 8 in the morning till 4, and at 4:30 I'd put on my uniform and patrol all night till 12:30 in the morning. And sometimes if you had an late arrest, I wouldn't get home till 3, and I was back in class the next day at 8. But despite that, I was able to get onto the University of Miami Law Review, which is a huge accomplishment. It opens a lot of doors. So I had job offers that paid a tremendous amount of money when I got out of law school. So I skipped the state attorney's office, which probably would have been a natural fit, and I went into civil litigation as a trial lawyer in a private law firm. And I did that until I realized that I really was not getting a lot of personal satisfaction out of it. Like, I enjoyed being a police officer. I enjoyed helping people and doing the right thing. And as a lawyer, I always felt like I was somebody's hired gun. Mm-hmm. And that's what led me to want to become a judge because, judges are more, they're more trying to do the right thing. They're not representing a party. And that was the best move I ever made.
And you were elected a judge at age 34?
Yes, I was elected a judge. I was the youngest cop in Miami for quite a while, and I was the youngest judge in Miami for quite a while because when I ran for judge, I ran for the circuit court, which is the higher of the two trial courts in Florida, and most circuit court judges were, I think the youngest one after me was about 9 years older, or about 8 years older. So I faced a lot of naysayers. A lot of people said, you're crazy, go for county court. It's a smaller court and younger judges. And, I remember what I said about perseverance, about trying to go for the things you want and not giving up. I kept fighting and going for it, and I threw my hat in the ring. And I didn't just win. I really actually slaughtered my opponents. Elections for judges are typically decided by 2,000 votes, maybe sometimes a few hundreds, and I beat my opponent by 80,000 votes.
And what keeps going through my mind is just imagine if you listened to everyone who told you couldn't do something, what your life would be like now.
Exactly. And I speak a lot to students. I love speaking at high schools and at universities. I speak about bullying. That's a very big topic to me. But I also speak about your future. I speak about education and perseverance and the importance of it. And I give examples in my life. I'm just talked about 2 right now, but I give them about 6 examples in my life where people told me I wasn't going to be able to do something, that it was crazy to try, and I went for it and I got it. And so I try to impress upon students how in this country, in America, if you get a good education, which is available to, people from other countries would kill for the education opportunities you can get in America. Get a good education as a base, and with a dose of perseverance, where you go for things, and you don't give up until you get them. You can accomplish pretty much anything.
Judge, on the bench, did you preside over a lot of family cases during that time?
I did. I did a stint in family court as well as criminal court.
What did you learn about the state of our American family during that time?
It ain't Dad's American family anymore.
Right.
It has certainly changed. I had people appear in front of me on what's called the uncontested calendar, which is a calendar where the parties don't have any property disputes, they don't have any children, so it's just a matter of divorcing them. They may have agreed on how they're dividing their property, or they may not have anything. And I had people appear in front of me who had been married weeks before. I had divorces of marriages that lasted a couple of weeks, a couple of months. Nobody tries to keep anything together anymore. It's become very disposable. I'll marry you until I wake up unhappy, and then I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Which is sad. It's sad because anybody who's been married, I've been married for 25 years. Anybody who's been married knows you're going to have times when you just cannot stand the other person. I know my wife wakes up sometimes thinking, like, if I had a weapon, you'd be in trouble. And you go through those periods, and it's just you have to work at having a good, successful marriage, and the whole idea of I'm going to marry you, and then okay, I'm not happy today, I'm getting a divorce, I'm going to marry this person it's really disheartening to me.
Well, and your wife gets a break because she can ship you out of Florida to where you film your television show.
Oh, don't think she's not delighted about that. When I go to L.A., it's like, woohoo!
So let me ask you, Judge, how did you end up with the television show?
Well, I've been on the criminal court bench in Miami for about 10 years. I've been handling a lot of high-profile cases because I got to the point where I was one of the senior judges on the criminal division. A lot of other judges were coming to me for advice, or if they had I was in a backup division that just tries cases. It doesn't have any cases assigned to them. So other judges could send us cases to lessen their caseload. And judges were sending me a lot of the high-profile cases that, if you're a new judge, you don't want to necessarily make a fool of yourself on national television. Or some of the big cases take a long time to try, and it backs up their calendar and things like that. So I ended up trying a lot of cases that got me in the media. One of them, in fact, is the subject of an upcoming movie that Michael Bay is making right now that he's finished Transformers 3. It was the longest criminal prosecution in Miami's history, and that was my trial. And so I ended up at a point where I said, I need a change, and I put my name in for a vacancy on the appeals court, which is very sought after, very difficult to get. And I came out as the front runner for it of all the applicants, and it looked really good heading into the governor's interview. And then all of a sudden I got a call from 20th Television, the syndication branch of Fox, and they had seen video footage of me on the bench, and somebody got the bright idea that I might be good on television. And I had this really difficult fork in the road. And again, this is one of those times in my life where people told me, don't do it, you can't do this. And my friends had said, television is a very fickle industry, which it is. 8 out of 10 new shows fail, which they do. And you're giving up basically what comes out to a life appointment on the appeals court, the pinnacle of a judge's career, to go do this lark. And, I talked to my family, and they know my attitude is, that I always like to try something new. So my kids and my wife, they said, go for it. And I took the plunge, and we haven't looked back. It's been 6 years on the air now. My 7th season, which starts in September, is already taped. And we hit the ground running. We launched against Tyra Banks and Martha Stewart, who were launching new shows that year. We beat them both and became the highest-rated new daytime show in syndication. I don't think their shows are on the air anymore unless they're in reruns, and we're still going strong.
Judge, we're going to take a break right now for today's Healthy Living Tip. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Eric Murphy, a personal fitness trainer and owner of Pearl Personal Training in Little Falls, New Jersey. As you age, your metabolism slows down, making it more difficult to lose weight or keep weight off. Some people struggle with weight gain no matter how much they diet. To combat this problem, a program of aerobic activity and muscle strengthening activities are needed. One fitness regimen that I like to recommend is kinesis, which comes from the Greek meaning movement. Kinesis is an ideal solution for a unique, personalized workout. A versatile system, kinesis provides scope for both standard and combined movements. Different muscles can be trained by simply changing the exercise position. It can be used in specific workout programs tailored to your particular needs. There are programs for general health and well-being, weight loss, muscle toning, each of which is split further into 5 specific routines with 3 different effort levels depending on your personal level of fitness. Kinesis was born from a need to bring people back to physical exercise with the goal of improving their quality of life. Kinesis allows people to rediscover the most important motor skills, endurance, balance, strength, and flexibility, while performing hundreds of different exercises that can be adapted for beginners and advanced fitness enthusiasts alike. Stop by Pearl Personal Training in Little Falls, New Jersey for a free demonstration. Or to learn more about Kinesis, call us at 973-837-8202 or simply visit our website at pearlpersonaltraining.com.
Change your attitude, change your life in big. Believe, inspire, grow. Salute the entrepreneurial spirit of small business owners, people who follow a dream, work hard, and make it happen. This week's Spotlight on 24/7 Networking Sales is brought to you by VMM Benefits, a voluntary benefit specialist. Call VMM at 201-697-0203. Did you know that 4 out of 5 businesses fail within their first year of operation and that only 20% of the ones that do survive make it through 5 years? Even well-established companies are struggling to find new ways to become more profitable in today's competitive environment. 24/7 Networking Sales is a professional networking and sales company that can help your business increase its client base and increase the closure rate of your sales team. Networking is the key to business growth, getting connected, staying in touch. 24/7 Networking Sales offers a range range of events to meet members' needs regardless of the size of their organization. What sets 24/7 Networking Sales apart from other networking groups is that its members get paid to network. Members are paid commission on sales that happen within the framework of the organization's member base. Don't let your competition get the advantage. Call 973-697-8862 or visit www.join24-7.com.
Health insurance costs have risen at an alarming rate. At the same time, coverage choices have narrowed. Supplemental insurance provides an employer with the opportunity to enhance its current health plan without adding cost or administration. From accidents to catastrophic illness to intensive care to unexpected death, VMN Benefits has the plan to meet your needs. Call VMN Benefits at 201-697-0203 to learn more about supplemental insurance. VMN Benefits, providing peace of mind for your employees.
Hi, I'm Judy Schumacher-Tilton, owner of Gearhart Chevrolet in Denville. We have been in business since 1929 and are part of the new GM. Please stop by and see our complete line of beautiful fuel-efficient vehicles. Our dealership has been built on reputation, providing courteous, honest service. We are family-owned and operated. Come join the family. Call Gearhart Chevrolet at 973-627-0900. That's 973-627-0900. Or visit GearhartChevy.net.
Some people prefer traditional funeral services. Others prefer cremation. Some want an elaborate ceremony. Others don't want any ceremony at all. Visit Funeral Homes offer all types of services because we know there are all types of people. That's why we specialize in personalized funeral services. To meet the needs of each and every family, call Bishop Quinlan Funeral Homes of Clifton at 973-546-2000 and Bishop Parker Funeral Home of Little Falls at 973-256-4700 for ideas and information on how to plan a service as individual as you are.
Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life now has a monthly free digital magazine that can be mailed to your inbox or read online at CYACYL.com. Each month, nationally recognized leaders in their fields, such as Joel Osteen, Sean T., Tanya Brown, Ed and Deb Shapiro, Food Network's Robert Irvine, plus many others, provide the tools that you need to inspire and motivate you. We believe in a holistic approach to life, incorporating mind, body, and spirit. As philosopher Francis Bacon said, knowledge is power. Take the wisdom provided in the publication and apply it to your everyday life. Visit CYACYL.com for more information or to begin your free subscription. That's CYACYL.com. Welcome back to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman, and our guest today is Judge Alex Ferrer. Judge Alex's television show airs weekdays in the New York market at noon and 12:30 on WOR My 9 TV. Judge, before break, we just started to talk a little bit about how you got involved with your television show, Judge Alex. And I'd like to ask you, are the cases on this show real, or is anything staged?
No, they're totally real. I mean, I would like to tell you they're not because it kind of saddens me that that's where we are. They're very real. We go and get cases from all over the country from courthouses. We have people who go through court files, pull out cases they think will be interesting. And what we look for, to be honest with you, are relationships. We don't want, a guy in Iowa who sold something over the internet to a guy in Nebraska. It's going to be a boring case. It's going to be, you sold me this, it didn't work. You didn't pay me for it. That's because it didn't work. It's a boring case. But family members, friends, coworkers, neighbors, former lovers, those people don't sue each other the first time something goes wrong. So you get the benefit of the backstory, which is what people can relate to. That's what people see and go, oh yeah, I've got a brother-in-law just like that, or that same thing happened to my mother. So they get the whole backstory that is the interesting part, and so we find those cases and we interview the litigants to make sure that they can tell a story because everybody can't, and then we fly them into L.A. and put them up in a hotel and I try their case. I don't pick the cases. I don't even know anything about the litigants other than they'll send me a complaint and an answer the week before, so I know I'm trying a dog bite or I'm trying a landlord-tenant dispute. And I walk in, I try the case, and I walk out. Never see the litigants before or after.
Judge, from all of the cases that you've tried over the years, what do you think are some of the biggest mistakes that people make? Is it joint bank accounts, loaning money? What are some of the traps that we can avoid so that we don't find ourselves in trouble down the road?
You women, The things you do for your man will never cease to amaze me. I mean, I've had women come in front of me and want to be paid back because they bought their guy a truck, a jet ski, a boat, and a motorcycle, and now they broke up and they're like, well, those were all loans. And I'm like, look, if you think that you're going to keep a guy by buying him all this stuff, you're not. I mean, he's still going to leave. If he was going to leave, he's going to leave. He's just going to leave driving the truck and pulling the boat with the motorcycle in the back and the jet ski. He's just taking the stuff with him, you know. And guys do it too. The difference is that guys are too embarrassed to come on television and tell everybody, oh, look at all this stuff I gave my girlfriend and now she dumped me. And women have no problem going in there saying, this loser, you know. So yeah, my advice to women is if you have to buy the guy's love, if you have to buy him gifts to keep him, or if you're buying him stuff because you think he's going to like you more, you're crazy. You're wasting your money. You know, if he likes you, he'll like you whether you buy him stuff or not. No, don't get me wrong. It's nice to buy gifts for the person you're with, but do not expect that that's going to cause him to stay. That's a big one. Not getting documentation. You know, people give cash and they never get a receipt. Oh, it's family, or it's my landlord said he didn't have any receipt. Well, when they come to court, believe me, they're going to say we never got that money. Even if you document an email or a text, you know, anything. Technology's great. We've got a lot of evidence from emails and texts now. So you didn't think to get the evidence, you didn't think to get the receipt, you didn't think to document that it was a loan and not a gift. How about sending him an email and saying, hey, the money I loaned, the $250 I loaned you, when are you going to pay it back? Once a guy responds and says, as soon as I get the money, he's confirmed it's a loan. So you can fix it after the fact. So those are tips I would give people.
When you're sitting on the bench, do you ever find it difficult to not get suckered in by people's emotional display in front of you? I mean, or have you just developed this keen intuition and you know when people are lying and they're really trying to pull one over on you?
Well, I mean, I don't have any magic wand or anything, but I think that having been a cop and a lawyer and a judge, I've got a lot of perspectives, a lot of different perspectives from which to view the testimony, and so I'm pretty good at picking out the lies. That's not to say I won't be taken, because anybody can be taken, but I'm pretty good at it. I think I'm a little better at it than a lot of people. But as far as getting sucked in, you know, if you watch my show, there are some cases that will make you laugh, and I love those. I mean, I love to laugh. So the cases that are funny, and we've had a lot of them this year. I think this is our best season. Those are my favorite. And we have cases that'll make you sad. You know, I've had cases that have brought a tear to my eye, and we've had some cases that will absolutely tick me off. No question. So as far as emotions, yeah, I'm not a stone wall up there. I have a range of emotions, and you can ask some of my litigants. Sometimes they come in and I'm laughing with them, and you know, then they do something wrong or the truth comes out and I am jumping down their throat. So they might get lulled into a false sense of security there too, thinking everything's going good, and then next thing you know, it's not so good.
Well, I know when I listen to each person's story, I'm on the side of the person who just got done speaking. So, yeah. You know, I would be a horrible judge.
Right, you'd be the whoever speaks last wins judge.
So let me ask you, Judge Alex, I know I mentioned in the New York market that your show airs weekdays at 12 and 12:30 on WOR My 9 TV. Where can our listeners, because we have a lot of people that pick up the show on podcast and Streamlined, where can they find information to see when the show is in their area?
Well, JudgeAlex.com is the show's website. It has a drop-down menu there that says where to watch. They try to update it regularly. Sometimes, you know, station will move you, and it takes us a little while to catch on that they moved us, but we generally try to keep that up to date, and you can go there and see where it plays. And there are also links there to my Twitter and my Facebook page. You can click on that and hit like the page, and you'll join the page. And I'm constantly, like, I'm in New York now doing promotional trips, so I'm constantly updating, you know, what's going on and where I'm doing promotions and things like that. So it's a good way to keep in touch with the fans and make it more personal.
So for more information, you can visit judgealex.com, or as always, you can visit our website, CYACYL.com. That stands for Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. While on our site, listen to past shows as podcasts, read our digital magazine, and sign up for our mailing list. Finally, Judge, in 30 seconds or less, as a man who has not been afraid to make change in your life, what advice can you offer our listeners to help them take the first step?
Well, the same advice I said before, and that is, I believe that with education and perseverance, you can accomplish anything in this country. I think I'm living proof of that. So I would say go as far as you can. It's never too late to get an education. So go as far as you can with your studies, and just don't give up on your dream. Don't let any failure set you back, because failures, they never set me back. It's just an opportunity to keep trying, and you'll get what you want.
Great advice, great words of wisdom. Judge Alex, thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate it. I really did enjoy talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. It's a pleasure.
Our guest today was Judge Alex, host of the Judge Alex television show. Again, if you'd like more information, visit judgealex.com. This is Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.